Our next story, little ones, is Rumpelstiltskin. There was once a poor miller who had a beautiful daughter. One day he happened to fall into conversation with a king, and in order to impress the king, the miller said, "You know, your majesty, I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold." The king said to the miller, "I like the sound of that. If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her to the castle tomorrow and we'll see what she can do." When the girl was brought to him, he took her into a room that was filled with straw right up to the ceiling. He gave her a spinning wheel and several spools and said, "There you are, work all day and all night. And if you haven't spun the straw into gold by tomorrow morning, you'll be put to death." Then he himself locked the door and she was left there all alone. The poor girl sat there with no idea what to do. Of course she couldn't spin straw into gold, and the longer she sat there the more frightened she became, and finally she began to cry. Then suddenly the door opened and in came a little man. "Good day, Miss Miller, and what are you blubbering for?" "I'm supposed to spin the straw into gold, and I don't know how to do it, and if I don't do it, they're going to kill me." And he said, "Well, what will you give me if I do it for you?" "My necklace." "Well, let's have a look at it." He peered at the necklace and nodded. He put it in his pocket and then he sat down on the spinning wheel. He set to work so fast she could hardly see his hands. Whir, whir, whir went the wheel, and the first spool was full. He put another one on, and whir, 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 and that one was full too. It went on like that till morning, and then all the straw was spun, and all the spools were filled with gold, and the little man left without another word. At sunrise the king came and unlocked the door. He was pleased to see all that gold, and surprised too that the miller's daughter had managed to do it. But it wasn't enough for him, so he took her into another room, even larger, and that one was filled with straw like the first one. "Spin all this in one night or lose your life," he said, and locked the door. Once more the girl began to cry, and once more the door opened and there was the little man. "What will you give me if I spin all this into gold for you?" "The ring for my finger." "Well, let's have a look at it." He squinted at it, put it in his pocket, and then he began to spin. The wheel went whir, whir, whir all night long, and by morning all the straw was spun into gold. The king was even more delighted, but he still hadn't got enough gold. He took the miller's daughter to an even larger room with straw like all the others, and said, "Spin this into gold and I'll make you my wife." He was thinking, "She's only a miller's daughter, but I'll never find a richer wife in all the world." When the girl was alone, the little man opened the door a third time and said, "What will you give me?" "I've nothing left." "Well, then you've got to promise me that when you're queen, you'll give me your first child." Well, who can tell what will happen in the future, she thought, and she promised the little man what he asked for. He set to work, and by morning all the straw had been spun into gold. When the king saw it, he kept his promise, and the lovely miller's daughter became the queen. A year later she brought a beautiful child into the world. She put the little man out of her mind, but all of a sudden there he was. "Now you must give me what you promised," he said. "Oh, no, 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 please, anything but that. I'll give you all the wealth in the kingdom." "What would I want that for when I can spin gold from straw?" "I want a living baby, that's what I want." The queen began to cry and weep so much that the little man felt sorry for her and said, "All right, I'll give you 3 days. You find out what my name is in 3 days and you can keep your child." The queen sat up all night trying to remember every name she'd ever heard, She sent a messenger into town to ask for any unusual names. She wrote down everything, and when he came back, the little man returned. Is it Casper? No, that's not my name. Is it Melchior? No, that's not my name. Is it Balthazar? Nope, that's not my name. She went through all the names the messenger brought, and each time the man said, nope, that's not my name. The second day she sent the messenger out into the country. There must be some strange name, she thought, and then the little man came back, and she said, is it Pickleburster? No, that's not my name. Is it Hanky Dank? No, that's not my name. Is it Mustard Plaster? But he always answered, no, that's not my name. She was getting desperate. On the third day, though, the messenger came back with a strange tale. I haven't heard any more names of the sort I found yesterday, Your Majesty. But when I was at the top of the mountain in the thickest part of the forest, I saw a little house. There was a fire burning in front of it, and a little man. You should have seen him. He looked absurd. He was dancing about in front of it, hopping on one leg, singing out, one more day, and then she'll see. The royal child belongs to me. Water, earth, and air, and flame. Rumpelstiltskin is my name. Well, you can imagine how pleased the queen was to hear it. When the little man came in, he was rubbing his hands together and hopping with glee, thinking, oh, now, my lady, what's my name, eh? Eh? Is it Tom? No, that's not my name. Is it Dick? No, that's not my name. Is it, let me see, Harry? No, that's not my name. Well, I wonder if it could be Rumpelstiltskin? The devil told you that. The devil told you that. The little man yelled, and in his fury he stamped his foot so hard that he drove it into the ground right up to his waist. Then he took hold of his left foot with both hands and tore himself in two. And we didn't hear from him again. The